Shalom Aleichem Rabbi Isai. We are continuing here with Hachzeik, finishing up Mishnah Hey and even Mishnah Vav. We'll soon see. Okay, says the Mishnah here. V'loi kol amarbe b'schoira machkim. And a person, right? Kaptan is not a melamed, and anybody who's marbe b'schoira is not going to be machkim. Uv'mokem she'ein anoshim hishtadel liyois ish. So we'll see. It says the Rabbeinu Yoina, V'loi kol amarbe b'schoira machkim. Achar she'oisik b'schoira osoi kol hayoyim v'oisim mimena keva u'mitarosoi arai lo yachkam lo'olam. So he's learning up shot. A person who's marbe b'schoira will never become, smart. And this time I'll tell you an interesting ma'ase of a gadol. We just had the yahrzeit of Rav Gusman Zitzal. Same shakel of Ataria Rav Gusman Zecher Tzadik B'Kodesh L'Bracha had with himself when he was a young child. He said, I want to play. Children play. They like to play. But if I play all day, I won't know. But I want to play, he said. And he was back and forth with himself. I want to play. Kids play. But if I play, I won't know. Same over here. If you're oisik b'schoira all day, lo yachkam, you won't learn, you won't know anything. So what's the eitzah? The eitzah is, like we said before, asay teras keva, and the malacha should be aray. So Rav Gusman said the same thing. He says, it's similar. He said more teeth, more rashividik at 6 years old. He said, I want to play, but I can't play because if I play, I won't know. If I play outside, I won't know anything. So he decided to play in his learning. And from a young age, he was always in the basement, he was always learning, but he was having fun when he was learning. It's a greisa eitzah. Stamazay nowadays, kids have so many toys and so many things. Teach your kids, teach yourselves how to play in Torah. And they will have fun, trust me. It's Badaka Menusa, a child who is not learning disabled and can read and can, sit. So he can have fun learning. I know it sounds like a shocking thing, but it is a possibility. It is possible. It's some cute little maisa with an eitzah. Kol amarbe b'schoira machkim. Ein kol amarbe. V'loi kol amarbe b'schoira machkim. You're not going to be able to do. So maybe you could say the same thing. The eitzah of Rav Gusman, you can, I was once zoicha to sit with the kvutza of Talmidei Chachamim, together with an Adam Gadol. Together, we sat together by Reb David Soloveitchik Zecharon Levracha. And this Adam Gadol from America, Chaim Mintz, Shlita, was asking the Gadol Ador questions in chinuch, questions in anhaga, and stuff like that. And one of the things that came up was, working. A Ben Torah has to go to work, in Chutz La'aretz, And Reb David, with his personality and his smile, he said to Reb Chaim Mintz, which question, it was something we all smiled at because, it sounded like he didn't know what the Metzias was in America, but to him it was a chiddush and it was gishmak to hear him say it. He said, no, don't worry, nowadays you can work in learning. You can work, you can be a Rebbe and get money and be in Torah all day. So that's the only eitzah l'chura to be marbe b'schoira and still become smart if you're oisik in work, in learning. But of course, that eitzah has been completely, used in America, and many people can't find a mahalach for parnasa in learning. So I'm not sure how relevant that eitzah is nowadays. It's relevant, but you have to be very, very good at it, whatever the case may be. I'm saying it's a big world today, and Kanayin Hara, but just you see, I'm just bringing out from that ma'isa, how the Gadol Ador of David Soloveitchik, said the same vars. Basically, you can become a working person in Torah, in working, and then you wouldn't have this problem similar to a child playing. He can play, in Torah, and he won't lose out by playing. Okay. I hope that wasn't confusing, too confusing for you. Continues on the Mishnah, when there are no people around, try to be a ish. Okay, the question is here, what does the word hishtadel mean? What does the word hishtadlus actually mean? It is a funny word. I once had a thought about that. Okay, fine, let's see if it comes up. Mefarshim harishonim, zechronim levracha, b'magam she'ein anoshim le'orercha b'mitzvos, u'liyasereka, tishtadel liyos ish v'yaser es atzmecha. So some of Farshim explain that this idea of Ishtadul Liyos Ish is when you don't have Rebbeim and people that are going to be mechazik you anymore on a daily basis. You're no longer in the Mizgeret of the yeshiva. You have to work on being miyaser yourself and reminding yourself that you got to do what's right in the eyes of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Oy pirusha ke'inin she'amru im ra'isa doir she'atorah misrasheles al yodoi. You see that the Torah is becoming weaker. Asoik b'Torah. That's ishtadul liyos ish. Meaning be oisek in Torah. Shenemar eis las Hashem heferu Torah secha. Ma tam eis las Hashem. Why is it eis las Hashem? Because heferu Torah secha. The mereishel l'sefer midrash. Kideisa b'shuli maseches brachos. V'oid nuchal l'farish. There's another pshat. Says Rabbeinu Yoina. B'mogam she'ein sham anoshim gedolim mimcha b'chachma. When there's no longer anoshim gedolim than you in Chachma, ishtadel liyos ish. Try to be a person. Ve'alti mona melahachkim. Right? The taich of a mensch is a person who's willing to gain more knowledge. That's the definition of a mensch. So, even though you're the biggest chacham around, don't stop yourself from becoming smarter. Even if you're not going to find somebody smarter than you, this is similar to what we said before, asel charav, knei chachaver. Af im ein badora hu kamoicha. Even if the whole nation is not like you. Tira atzmecha ki'ilu bedor chachmei Talmud. Ata v'imoim b'mokem echad. Make believe everybody here, everybody in your door is like Abaye and Rava. There's like, you would be in Elam in front of Abaye and Rava. You would not open your mouth for 80 years, just soaking in the knowledge and greatness of these great people. So you have to try to make believe that that's the case, because because that is be'etzem the truth. Every person contains in him a wealth of knowledge, and we have to train ourselves to adapt and look like and view people like that. Give people the kavod and the erech that they can actually teach you something. It's an amazing thing to try to work on. And you'll only be marviach. Gamim tazig l'ma'alosam, even if you are shaykh to the ma'ala of Abaye and Rava, tachshav kila to'emet bein haneviyim, im Moshe Rabbeinu, olav hashalom, and then for sure you have no terutzim. U'masay tikaz l'ma'alosam l'chachmasam, that you'll never reach. You'll never reach the ma'ala of Moshe Rabbeinu. So whatever you have to do to be meshachnei yourself that you can be in a matzav of steiging, that's what you should do. That's what it means. Hishtadel liyos ish. I don't know if it's Rashi or the other Rishonim here say that the word hishtadel, the Unklis translates it here, the Rambam, v'ya'ovek ish imay v'ishtadal gavra imay. So stamazah, you see over here that ishtadlus is a Aramaic word. It's not a Yiddish word. It's an Aramaic word. Ishtadal imay, gavra imay. So it's like hergel. You have to be margil yourself to do this. That's an important thing. You have to do this. You have to be kind of this attitude. Okay. Gam. And if you are margil yourself to do this, you'll never, have a hisrashlos, like a weakening in your learning. You'll be like a mayin masgaber, and you'll always become smart. Okay, there's a whole word over here in the shtadlus. It's slipping my mind. If it comes to me, maybe I'll share that with you on a different day. But we're going to continue on to the next Mishnah. It's just as a Hagdama. Rashi says over here, Afu is Hillel Haya Omer. Rashi in the middle over here says, V'yesh mekaymes shaloi nagu loimer zois ha'alocha. There are minhagim that would skip this Mishnah. We should really skip this Mishnah because this Mishnah has very hard, it's like, very hard to read even, and let alone understand and figure out what its place is. So we'll read the Mishnah, and we'll read the Rabbeinu Yoina, and maybe we'll just offer some mar makaimis on the Indian. We'll let you do your homework yourself. It's already 10 minutes. Let's see. Avhu ra gulgoiles achas shetzofa al pnei hamayim. Hillel, who's the Baal Memra over here, saw once a skull that was floating on the water, which is a chiddush because the Rishonim or other Mefarshim say over here that skull is the heaviest part of the heaviest bone in the body, heaviest part of the human body, and it has holes in it, right? So it should have sank. So the fact that it was floating was a pliya, and he noticed that. Omar lo, he said to the Gulgoyles, al da'at teift atfuch. The fact that you were murdered, slaughtered, your head was chopped off. I'm sorry, the fact that you're floating here must be that you killed someone else the same way. V'soif, and the end will be that the ones who chopped off your head will also die in the same way. Very, very strange. In fact, it actually fits into what we said earlier, 2 shiurim ago, from Reb Moshe, is that anytime you have a Mishnah like this, or all these Mishnahs, and you have Mefarshim, they're only telling you what they can tell you. There is so much in these Mishnayos, it's Pashut. When you look over here, the Rabbeinu Yoina is very Mayrach usually. And the Rabbeinu Yoina has 3-4 lines. It doesn't mean that, okay, fine, so that's an easier Rabbeinu Yoina, let's go weiter. There is so much in this Mishnah, but it can't be explained. It's Mamish Divrei Agoda 101, and all there is here is Musar and Kabbalah. That's how the Goyen explains what Agadata is. There is worlds that can be discussed in the realm of Musar or Soid or Kabbalah. And the Rishonim can only say so much. So let's see what the Rabbeinu Yoina says, and then I'll share with you a Mar Makam, which I think is Kedai to go through on your own. Afu ra gulgoyles achas tzafal pnei hamayim v'amar lo al da'at ateift atfuch v'soif mitafayich yetufun roitzel loymar al sharagda v'garamta lo tziv gulgoyles anerag. You caused this gulgoyles to be here, in front of us and floating on the water. Haraguch ve'tzifu gulgoyles seich. Shaila shaloi kedin v'shaloi kedin osu kil dam noki shafachu hu adover aleim ki ein bedin larag haritzach acha bezdin al pi haTorah chol harga chayv misa. So you did something wrong. Only Bezdin's allowed to kill. Hoil ve'ein damei maser biyadoi shel hoyreg lahargoi. Okay, you have no right to kill anybody. Bezdin will do the justice. And since you did that, at the end, mitzafayich yetzifum. Acherim yasu lahem kasher osu la'achayim. Ki al kein niya davar hazeh shekulam chayovim. Megalgal chiv al yidei chayav. So you killed somebody when you weren't supposed to, so they killed you. And those guys that killed you, which is also the same thing that you did to that guy, will come back to them. It's a galgal achoizer. Okay? This is what the Mishnah is saying. This is what the Mefarshim are saying. Rashi, the Rambam, they're all saying the same thing. It's mirafsin igra, Rabbi Isai. mamish mirafsin igra, and the worst part about it is that it's not true. L'chu'ura, it's not true. And that's the big elephant in the room question. And that question is asked by none other than the Tosfos Yom Tov. It's hard to understand the first line over here, but I'll read it anyway. Vim Toimar, Al Korcha Harishin Shenerag, Keshe'ata Choshev Lemafreya Timta Shul Yarak. What does he mean to say? He says if you're going to look back and do your research, who this guy actually was, it could be that he didn't kill. So what are you talking about? You're here because it must be that you killed, and that's why somebody killed you. It's mamish not like that. And he brings a raya that Hevel Hargoi Kayin. Hevel was killed by Kayin. Vehu lo and Hevel didn't kill anybody. There was nobody to kill. So what is this? This is like total. Besides the fact that it's Miraf Sinigra, the whole thing, what's doing in Avis and all that kind of stuff, it's just simply not true. Okay, that's the elephant in the room question, and that's the question that opens up the sugya here. You can take a look at the Tosfos Yom Tov. It's a long arichas. We're not going to go through it, but he does say a beautiful pshat at the end, which connects us to tomorrow's Mishnah, and he tries to make some sense out of it. So you can take a look at that yourself. And Hatzlacha Rabbah. We will continue with Mishnah Zayin Be'ez Hashem tomorrow. Kol Tov.